Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I am Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Los Angeles Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano. He covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? I'm doing well. Day 2 of the free agency frenzy. I like the name free agency frenzy. But not as crazy as a day one, but a lot going on. Some trades, some agreements. Can't sign yet because of New Year. Oh, by the way, Fernando, it's going to be so annoying at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday. Happy New Year, Happy New League Year,
Oh my
whatever.
god!
So yeah,
And you
don't give
know, and I can already tell. You and I could probably sit here for about 10 minutes and name the
Okay.
journalists that we know that are that are going to tweet that out.
Yeah, with the gif of the fireworks, like it's a real Happy New
Exactly.
Year.
Or the Joker one. Here we go.
Oh, that's a
That one, they like
popular,
using that one.
redundant one.
They like using that one too. Yeah, no. You know what? In the past, Gilbert, I don't know if you remember, but usually that's kind of when fireworks kind of happen right there. Like as soon as they announced the league year, I remember a couple of years ago, Brandon Marshall was traded, and then like sometimes big trades happen right at that time. I wonder though, I mean, just real quick, I don't know what you think. Do you think the NFL sometimes tells teams, hey, if you guys have a really big one, just hold it off a little bit, hold it right there so that we can get all the viewers in and checking this out? Because I mean, you kind of have to have something to get
I
it
feel
going.
like maybe a few years ago, but it's so many
That's true.
insiders out
Insider.
there, and I don't know. Like I saw like this video of like the NFL media guys like Garofalo, Pelissero, and Rapshi on together.
What?
They're like fighting together, like on the phone, doing TV. I'm like, all right, we get it. You guys are busy people. So there's a lot of people out there who want to get the scoop, and those guys are good at what they do. So yeah, if there's like a trade out there, you're gonna be hounding to say, let me release this right now.
Yeah, no, the only one that's getting hammered right now is Trey Wingo,
Oh
former
yeah,
ESPN guy. No,
it's
even
done. Done.
Dove McClain is McLean. He's getting roasted because he's the one that reported on Trey Wingo's report.
He's
So
making Trey Wingo more popular, and then now he's getting burned too.
exactly, I don't even think he was this popular when he was at ESPN. I think he's gained a lot more fame in the last few days. The reason why Trey Wingo has been doing that is because Trey Wingo reported,
Mm.
I think Monday at like 12, he reported that
Yeah.
it was a done deal. Aaron Rodgers was heading to the New York Jets, and obviously, as of right now, there has not been an agreement. Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, everybody's been saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, this isn't done yet." The sides are everybody's still talking. There's no movement. Well, our good friend, our compa, Pat McAfee, and you can ding me. He announced on Tuesday afternoon that Aaron Rodgers will be on the Pat McAfee show at 1 p.m. At 1 p.m. Eastern,
So 10
which
a.m.
is 10
Okay.
a.m. Pacific.
So 3 hours before the new league year. Okay.
Exactly. So he'll be on. Obviously, nobody knows if Aaron Rodgers is going to announce it,
Trey
what's going
Wingo
to
knows.
happen. But,
Trey Wingo knows.
Trey Wingo knows.
And then now that I think about it, before we move over to
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
engagement question, yeah, you're probably right. When the one time you can hold news is the guy with the small circle, Aaron Rodgers, who somehow has Trey Wingo in there, and maybe he jumped the gun. He's like, whoa, 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 Trey, I'm going on the Pat McAfee show, so hold on. Garrett Wilson too, tweeting that he's going on vacation and he's happy with a big smile. They jumped the gun. So I think you're right. They were holding that one for the new league year, but mostly for Pat McAfee.
But you know what's funny is that there's been a battle between the Jets and the Packers players. Like Roswell
Oh,
Douglas
yeah.
from the Packers has been like, we don't need to talk to him or to try and bring him over. We're his teammates. We love him. We have his phone number. And then like you got Sauce Gardner, who's like, hey, I won't pick you off at practice. I swear. He even burned the cheese head that he got when he was in when New York upset the Packers this year. So hey, they're courting him. The Packers want him. I want to keep them, the players, and obviously the Jets players want them on the team. So definitely some interesting stuff there. Let me ask you though. I mean, and this is just you and me. What do you think? What do you think he does? What do you think he does?
Uh,
What do you think he
1
announces at 10?
p.m.
Or
Eastern,
what do you
or
think he says at 10? Do you think it's about the like more questions about him enclosed and that thing for 4 days? Or do you think he says I'm officially gonna do X, Y, and Z?
uh Okay, I think I wouldn't put it past him to make this go a few more days. Hey, I'm still thinking about it. Yeah, the whole living in the cave was cool and it really helped me, but it brought out the best of me in other ways, not football related. Now this time is about football. I can see the whole spiel there. But I think after a while, enough is enough. New league year, Fernando. You got to get the roster
New
going.
year, new me.
You need people exactly to go on vacation like Gary Wilson. So I say he does it, and I know people are really antsy for that.
I think he announces whatever he's gonna do. I I still don't put retirement. I don't. I still don't. Well, no. You know what? They wouldn't be doing all this movements. Wouldn't be happening if he was gonna retire. I
Yeah, like,
think.
Alan Lazar,
So
which we'll get into, and
yep. Yeah.
supposedly
So
Randall Cobb, get their band back together.
basically, according to Diana Rossini from ESPN, she tweeted out earlier today that Aaron Rodgers asked the Jets to provide a wish list of free agents. According to her sources, that includes Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, Mercedes Lewis, and Mr. Odell Beckham Jr. And by the way, somebody said Odell tweeted out Odell Beckham Jr. on the Jets, and he
Whoa.
put my little side eyes that I like to do, which I should have trademarked from the beginning, but I guess he did it. He did it as well. So Gilbert, what do you? I mean, the first domino's already fallen. Alan Lazard, 4 years, 44 million, and supposedly the Broncos were battling at till the last second with the Jets for Alan Lazard's services. But what do you make of this?
Yeah, the Alan Lazar signing, I like it. I know he's not like the best like dynamic wide receiver, but he's a good blocker, and he brings a little bit of the dirty work that you need. And even if for some reason Aaron Rodgers doesn't end up there, I think he fits well with Robert Saleh is trying to do there. And Nathaniel Hackett, remember Nathaniel Hackett?
Yeah.
So that's a good fit. The whole Randall Cobb thing, I don't get it. It's just him trying to bring in the homies, the compas to come play with
Yeah.
me. I like you, Randall Cobb. So I guess in one way, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. If you're a real true one, a real day one, he's gonna take care of you, even though you're past your prime. You can't. Like honestly, I'm very surprised Randall Cobb is still in the NFL.
So
Like
am
might as
I.
well bring back Jordy Nelson and bring back the whole team. Greg Jennings. I know Greg Jennings doesn't like him, but
Oh yeah,
just
no.
whatever.
I saw
But
I saw I saw a meme like that today. They were like Jordy Nelson trying to get inside of and it was like a little kid banging on the wall, and he's like, "Let me in."
what even Donald Driver, he played with him right for a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
name
they
what
won a
his
Super Bowl together.
Yeah, there you go. So a lot of good receivers. But the one that I'm kind of a little hesitant about is like after a while, like enough is enough. OBJ with your free agency tour, just pick a team and call it a day. You like a year removed from playing, but I want to see it. It'll be chaos, right, in New York. Like, so why not get
Dude,
OBJ back in New York? And I don't know how he's gonna play, but I want to see it.
has the Hard Knocks team already been chosen? No, right?
I don't
No, it
remember.
is not.
Maybe the last time they were on was that memorable Rex Ryan, and
Oh,
I'm sure your
dude,
brother loves that one.
can you imagine if the Jets get chosen for Hard Knocks and it's Odell, it's Aaron Rodgers, Sauce Gardner? Like, man, that would be a lot of fun to watch that team on Hard Knocks, especially with all the different personalities that they're gonna have.
I think Salah would be
Um,
good to get to know too up close.
who?
Salah, the coach, Robert Salah.
That's why I want to see, because I mean he's obviously built something. If and that's why people are like, well, why is he going for Aaron Rodgers this time? Well, remember last year, if they had a competent quarterback, they might have made the playoffs last year, because they were basically in the playoffs almost the whole season, and at the ends when they fell off. So
Because Mike
because
White,
obviously,
my
huh?
boy. Because Mike White wasn't around.
Well, Mike White, the Manhattan Milf Hunter, and Joe Flacco, they each kept on messing up games or getting
And
hurt
yeah,
or
and they got a bunch of hurts. I heard
exactly.
hurt
So
players.
if you have a competent quarterback in there, you should be able to win those games, put those games away, and make the playoffs. So, and obviously, I mean, I'm kind of now. I'm on the Jets bandwagon in the sense of I'd like to watch them in the playoffs, see what that defense can really do
Yeah.
in the playoffs. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think that's something we forget is that defense was really good. And they were playing well, like you mentioned before the injuries. I was gonna say, there was somebody who went, like I was listening to a podcast, like, yeah, I've never seen a team get so decimated by injuries before. And I'm like, I covered the Chargers, so it's nothing new.
I think people forget about that.
It's like, yeah, but Brees Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker and all these great players got hurt. So
And those guys are coming, yeah, and those guys are coming back, so their offensive line's going to be even better. But I just hate the fact that like two teams are kind of like like they're literally like just sitting there kind of like
I don't
teetering,
think
and
they're
they're kind of like,
they're not waiting. They know the deal. That's why they're making all these moves. Like we're not dumb anymore. So that's why, like, I was gonna tell you, I was like, Fernando, we shouldn't spend too much time on this because we don't know his decision. We know he's going to the New York Jets, so maybe it's a
yeah.
preview for that because it's gonna happen. And I think we're both could pretty much guarantee it's gonna happen.
The AFC now becomes even like if I'm an AFC quarterback and I'm like looking around, I'm like, shit, like let me get traded to the NFC. Like, hey, who want like Baker Mayfield? You go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with some of those weapons, you might be. I mean, I'm not saying that obviously that he's going to be a playoff quarterback or a Super Bowl quarterback, but you might be able to make some noise in the NFC, especially
That one I
with.
already said. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. I feel like I'm surprised that he hasn't got a job yet. All these quarterbacks are getting these backups are getting quarterback like jobs, but I guess he's probably waiting with the Buccaneers. I don't know.
I saw somebody tweet out, "Oh my God, Matthew Stafford's going to retire right before training camp, and Baker Mayfield's going to be our quarterback, isn't he?" And he put like the fall. It was a Rams fan, and I was like, "Hey, I'm like,
Maybe he's staying.
I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield's bad, like good." But he's not as bad as like some of the other quarterbacks that we've seen in the NFL. Like I think Baker could end up doing a little something with Sean McVay and with that a healthy Rams offense. I think. By the way, the Rams have been kind of quiet. Like
Yeah.
even for their standard, like they haven't been able to trade
Well, when
Allen.
you're well, yeah, it was going to take that contract, but
Yeah.
you're giving us a preview for House of Horns, and also now, Fernando, can I give it a good segue to give you a preview for a Wub and the engagement question? Because gotta
Yep.
get her wait.
Go
Here
ahead.
you go. Yes. Also, I would like for Victor to maybe cut this up because you know what? I feel like the listeners and viewers of Compas and Beat want to know too, and they want to be involved. So the engagement question of the week, and it'll probably get old in the morning because maybe Austin Ekeler is going to Chicago. Who knows? There you go. But the question of the week: where is Austin Ekeler going to go in a trade if the Chargers want to trade him? You know what? And let's switch it up. Even if, how about you comment too, saying, do you want Austin Ekeler to get traded after seeking a trade and saying things about Herbert? I don't know. You're like, get out of here. And then if that's the case, give me a team, a trade scenario. And by the way, I have a story coming out. Already came out. You're probably watching this Wednesday morning before the new league year. Happy New Year. Austin Ekeler trade destinations SI story. I put 5 teams there, but I want to hear your 5 teams or 2 or 3 or just say Austin Ekeler, please just stay.
Do you think Baltimore? Oh no, never mind. I if wherever Lamar Jackson would go, I'd love to. That's where I kind of would like to see Austin Eckler. I wonder what that duo would do. Like him and Austin, I think would do a pretty good job right there. Like I think
Go
that'd be
where?
a fun.
In Baltimore?
I mean, do you think he's gonna stay in Baltimore?
Lamar?
By the way, Lamar was tweeting out a lot today. He was
Oh,
tweeting out
yeah.
today, so I thought that was pretty interesting to watch him. But my bad. Going back to the whole Austin Eckler thing, um, I mean, Dan Diego and I kind of said it on Wub. It was he should have done this last year, Gilbert. Last year was the year where they had money. They could have given him a contract. They would have been like, you know what, you're coming off a great year. Like you just had 20 touchdowns. Like you literally were one of the main reasons why we almost made the playoffs. And we battled and everything. Now it's kind of like he's gonna be 28 before the season starts. He's had over 700. He's touched the ball 700 times since Melvin Gordon departed the team. He's not just a running, like he doesn't just run the football, he catches the football as well. He does some other things. So, and remember, he had taken a beating before he used to play special teams as well. So he's kind of remember that one cheap shot that he got against the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of years ago. And I mean, there he that body has a lot of wear and tear on it, and his size. I mean, you're not supposed to last all that long. I mean, I know Darren Sproles lasted until he was 35, but I just don't know how long Austin's going to be able to last. But I just don't see, especially right now, I'm going to go back to the Pat McAfee show, but Pac-Man Jones was on there, and he said, "Man, right now is a terrible time for running backs. Like those guys are not going to get paid. Even the guys that are getting paid, they're the ones that are saying they're telling them, hey, either take a pay cut or we are going to trade you." And that's what's going on. Even the almighty King Derrick Henry, like he's getting told about that too. Dalvin Cook also, and now Austin Eckler is like, hey, I want a new contract. Charge like a new contract. Like we get you do a lot for us, but come on, dude. Like we have other areas of need.
Yeah, I was trying to think about it from 2 point of views, Fernando, and
Yeah.
I'll try to keep it quick here. But one, I think Austin Eckler knows very damn well what he's doing. He saw what happened with Melvin Gordon. He
Yep.
benefited from Melvin Gordon striking out, and he's probably seen numerous running backs after Melvin Gordon strike out and try to make a paycheck or a hefty raise. So Austin Eckler knows what he's doing. So I was trying to think, okay, he has no guaranteed money in his contract. This is probably the one way he could leverage that because he scored 38 touchdowns combined the past 2 years. Like, he's not a special teamer guy. He's not the guy who, like, hey, Melvin Gordon, you messed that up. Let me make the most of my opportunity. And then he had a great year. And by the way, Fernando, he probably could have signed for more because he had such a great
Yep.
2019 season. But when you're an undrafted free agent who knows the game that you don't get paid, he jumped at the contract and he got his money. So he's not dumb. He's trying to find some way where, like, okay, I get it here. You know, I might not get it from the Chargers, but I just got to have some kind of 1 year or 2 year security. He's probably going to ask for $10 million a year. I don't know. That's me just guessing because I think I'm just going to assume this guy is a smart dude. He knows the game for the running back. So if you're saying it's like an $8 million a year contract for maybe 1 or 2, I think he knows he could find a team to take a chance on him because he's so productive. And, you know, for the Chargers, maybe they're like, hey, dude, like, we just want to get to one more year with you because after that, what if you do break down in that 1 year? And Austin Ekeler's probably thinking, yeah, dude, I can probably break down. I know it very well. That's why I want to have some kind of security. You could either guarantee my money for the full year so I can have some kind of peace of mind if I get hurt or whatever happens, maybe from now to July or the bonus, whatever he gets. Or
Yeah.
give me one more year and that's it. So it's not like a crazy ass, like, what was it? Melvin Gordon was like 4 years, $40 million. Like, that's a
Yeah.
bigger ass. So I get it from his point of view and try to use some leverage. And there will be a team, Fernando, who's going to take a chance on him and maybe pay him 1 or 2 years. If that's what he wants, he's trying to get up there like crazy, he won't get it. And then for the Chargers, it could kind of be a little blessing in disguise. I told you about this earlier, Fernando.
Yeah.
Like, he's so reliant, Justin Herbert, that is on Austin Ekeler. Hey, just give him the ball in space. They're playing these two high shells. There's a lot of pressure coming at me. I can't go deep. Boom, check down, check down. Maybe that's all Joe Lombardi, but it was peace of mind for Justin Herbert. And a lot of quarterbacks need an Austin Ekeler. Justin Herbert might not need an Austin Ekeler because he
Yeah.
has that rocket arm. And now is it take off the training wheels? I know he's not playing on training wheels, but just say, okay, there's not my blanket here. I'm going down the field, and it could be an exciting football. That's just the way I'm seeing it. And maybe the Chargers know that too. Like, hey, dude, we don't need your security anymore. We're trying to push the rock down the field. I don't know. I said a lot there, but I was trying to think from all point of views.
I'm gonna be completely honest about something, and I hope this doesn't rub people the wrong way. The one positive I do give the Spanos family, they do get rid of players a year before they kind of their bodies start breaking down. Junior Seau, the legend, rest in peace. Right before he started kind of going downhill, they traded him away or they let him go to Miami. LT right before they let him walk. Melvin Gordon let him walk. So they kind of let these guys go right before. I mean, they let some other guys go like Michael Turner. And then Michael Turner blew up in Atlanta and had a
A little
great
too soon,
career.
right?
Huh?
A little too soon, but it's okay when you have LT, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But and then Mike Tolbert, they let him go. He could have been a good
And
piece
they kept
later.
finding guys like Danny Woodhead. Just keep
Yeah,
going.
exactly. So that's the thing is that I like the Spanos family. One thing that they do right is that right before the wheels fall off on a player that's done very good for them, they kind of let him go. They let him go, and then he'll have one great year, and then boom. Like again, RIP Vincent Jackson. Vincent Jackson had a very good career with the Chargers. They let him go to Tampa Bay. He had one very good year for Tampa Bay, or maybe two. And then after that, it kind of fell off a little bit,
Yeah.
and he just wasn't the
Good
same
point.
player. So that's one thing that I do give them credit for. So I don't know what's gonna happen here, but if anything, I mean, my question is though, I would think they would give him 8. I don't think 8 is that. That's why I think he's kind of north of that, and that's why like if
Yeah.
they said that they're that much separate, I mean, because if they're saying we'll keep the 6 and he's saying well I want 10, well 8 you meet in the middle, and I think that would be an okay for both of them. But I think he's really strong on maybe wanting to be up there because he's like, hey, look
Yeah.
at my production, look at all I do off the field. Because I mean, whenever they ask for events, you always and you see the email, Austin Eckler's always there at the community events and doing all that stuff. So he's gotten very good at promoting his brand. He's done very good at doing all that stuff, being in front of the camera and everything. Like
Yeah.
he'll speak after games, after practices, after controversy, whatever it is. He's always his face is always gonna be in front of a camera. So
And that's why I always go back to he's a smart dude. He knows the game. So I don't think he's gonna ask for anything crazy. I think what it is an extra year. Like, okay,
yep, yep.
play out the contract for $6 million and then maybe get another $6 to $8 million
Melvin
a
Ingram
year.
wanted that extra year, remember? And then they said
And
no, and they just
like you're
turned his bonus into a fully guaranteed, and
but
that's
I don't. I think it's more than just having the 1 year
yeah,
secure. I
yeah,
think it's the
yeah,
one after, and then like you're mentioning, like could be like, what if he gets hurt? And that's another year of wear and tear because they don't even have a number 2.
No.
And then something could happen this year. Why would you guarantee the other year? And then, you already restructure a bunch of contracts where you move the money for 2024, and it could be a massive problem if you already have a running back on that too. But yeah, we could.
SpaghettiOs is the Chargers like kind of mantra, like
Which,
SpaghettiOs. Like,
by the way, for now, I really feel like this is a real sign they're gonna be aggressive. I guess not like been making moves, but like we want to make this court work one more year because that's a lot of money going to the 2024, which wouldn't surprise me. They make one more kind of all-in trade or whatever it is. But that's for another day, Fernando. How about we get to another trade that happened?
yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, obviously, we well, no, you know what? No, hold on, real quick.
And promote what real quick?
I really like what you got on there, sir. It's very that's some fancy Schmidt. I look at that sweatshirt. That's sexy. That's sex appeal right there. That
there you go.
you know, just tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, Fernando, I'm going to promote it all day, every day of the week, whatever, during this frenzy here. We'll see how many more episodes we do this week. But yes, if you didn't watch yesterday or follow us on Instagram, we have the merchandise website out. If you want this hoodie, you want this hat, what? CompasOnTheBeatMerch.com is out. Caroline did a fantastic job with the website, so check it out if you like it. Buy yourself a hoodie or whatever, just support that way. You're supporting the compas, and I get it, times are tough, but like, you know, you're supporting the compas, and the network keeps growing and growing and growing. So, but I get anything you could do to help out would be awesome. And in the same time, you get a hat, a hoodie, or a shirt. But I'm not trying to sound like a businessman here, trying to take your money. But check out the website. Speak for yourself and see what happens there. And also, Fernando, I don't know if you're gonna do this, but shout out to Karen. She definitely already supported.
Oh yeah, Karen is one of the best. We love her. She's, you know, it's funny. Karen has always been like from the beginning. Like when we first did this, I remember she was the first one. Like, oh my god, guys, I'm so excited for you guys. I'm gonna keep up. And she's always, whether she's washing the car, making food or whatever, she's like, I'm always listening to you guys. I love you guys, and we always appreciate Karen so much. And you know, and that's what I tell you. Like that's why I love training camp, because Karen's always there.
Oh yeah.
And right away, she's like, Compas, and we go over, start chatting with her. She's always so nice, and definitely appreciate it. But Gilbert, one thing came to my mind when I saw that that sweatshirt on you. Just real quick, I mean, this is literally what came to my mind. I mean, you know how I am, but look at this.
Good, baby, very good. Animal. Good, baby, very good.
It's funny you say that because I'm not trying to act like here's a promote opportunity for me, but somebody just texted me who got a hoodie, and just the first thing people always tell me, Fernando, they love the way it feels against their skin. I'm not the promo guy, that's San Diego, but they love the way it feels. I'm sure like Austin Ekeler,
Powers.
Austin Powers, the guy who tagged me. I was gonna say Austin Ekeler.
Next time you see Austin Ekeler, he's gonna look at you and go, "Good, baby, very good."
Well, the way that Austin Powers reacted there, that's how people are reacting to the hoodie. That should be the slogan right there, right? Be
Exactly.
like Austin Powers.
You know what? And it's funny because I mean, obviously Dan Diego is the promo guy, but he really nailed it when he said, like, hey, like this thing really feels good. And I'm telling you, when Dan Diego was a kid, my mom would get so frustrated with him because he'd be like, no, I don't like this shirt. It's itchy. Like we'd go to church or we'd go to parties. He'd start taking it off and be like, no, it's itchy. And she'd be like, no, it's not itchy. Yes, it is. And like he'd be scratching the whole time and everything. So when Dan Diego tells you something's very comfortable,
there you go.
Like it is comfortable. Like that's how he is. And so you got to trust him when he says that it's comfortable.
I like his setup, by the way. When we get him on later, just seeing his videos, like with the merch and the background.
Oh,
He's great company guy.
He's all promo, and he was telling me he's like, yeah, I always tell my students like, hey, go check out Compas, this and that and that and this, and I'm like, hey, there you go. I was like, we definitely always appreciate it. He's a company man. What can I say?
There you go.
But definitely, speaking of big time trades, we would never trade Dan Diego. Just saying that right now. He's not on the trading block. He will never be on the trading block. But definitely a trade that happened today, which was kind of crazy, Gilbert. I mean, and obviously the writing kind of has been on the wall for the last year and this year, but Darren Waller gets traded to the New York Football Giants. And obviously we got to bring in our resident Raider, Vic, the producer, see what he has to say about this. Another train wreck. And then obviously, before we get, he keeps on talking about this trade, so I got to bring him in because he wants to hear what Vic has to say about this.
I'll never be on the trade block. 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Dan and Dago.
By the way, Dan, for yesterday, I was watching the video and I'm like, "What is that contract behind you? Where did you sign?" And it took me a while to put it together. That is a Compas on the Beat.
You're an idiot.
Paper from the Radio Row.
He signed his own contract and signed it.
Yeah, I
supposed to be
drafted
something
one
here.
for myself.
Yeah, something valuable there behind it where you signed and got money. I'm like, it is free agency frenzy, so you got a contract. I'm like, that's smart.
Gilbert, he's like Alan, blood brothers in The Hangover.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, you saw me take it off the table and say I'm going to frame this.
Blood brothers.
It took me a while to put it together, but hey, you got your little blunder yesterday with the backwards pancakes, and today's mine.
So Vic, what did you make of that trade? Darren Waller, obviously he's been a good player for the Raiders. Obviously, everything he's been through, whether it was in Baltimore with some of the issues that he's had off the field, it's great to see him recover and everything. He got married over the weekend. By the way, Kelsey Plum was pretty funny with her tweet. Somebody tweeted out, "Oh, he was probably mad. Why McDaniel's he's not a romantic." RG3 said, and then Kelsey Plum goes, "Because we didn't invite him to the wedding."
Yeah.
So they didn't invite Josh McDaniel to the wedding. But Vic, what did you make of the trade for Darren Waller?
It all began with the Jacoby Myers signing. I knew something was up. And I keep getting hit up like, "Hey, what the heck are the Raiders doing?" And I'm like, "Look, just wait till Friday, wait till the dust settles, because there's a bunch of things going on with this team and we won't find out." Last year we saw with Adams, the trade, as you guys were talking about, that there's always a trade that happens after the new year and it becomes the talk of the weekend. Like right at March Madness, everybody's trying to watch the games, and then all of a sudden you get that big trade. And what happened last year was the Devontae Adams trade, and this year, it's not as big of a trade, but the writing was on the wall. They've been trying to trade him. They almost traded him at the trade deadline to the Packers. The Packers wanted him. I think they almost traded him for a 2nd-round pick, and it never materialized. And so now they get a 3rd-round pick for him. They're trying to shred some of that payroll, and like I said, they're looking to fix that defense, and I think there's more moves to come later in the week. And so that's pretty much all. As soon as I saw it, I was like, well, there it comes. And the next guy is going to be Hunter Renfrow. If you look at his contract, they're able to get out of his contract by Friday. So if you want to trade for him, it's a lot simpler if you do it before Friday. So don't be shocked if you see him get traded as well. So it's part of the process here. We're there. McDaniels and Ziegler are bringing in their own guys. They tried giving it 1 year because they made the playoffs. The roster wasn't as good as everybody thought it was because they went to the playoffs. Everybody just expected that adding Adams was going to take them to the next level. That wasn't the case. There was a lot of holes on.
We didn't expect that, by the way. We didn't.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Yeah. I know, but talk to Raider fans, and that was a whole different issue there. But so there was a lot of problems with this rosters, and now they're trying to build it back up, and it's going to be a process. It's it's going to take a little bit of time.
That's why I when we were texting, I was like, "Here goes Josh McDaniels trading away Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall all over again."
Everybody.
That's why he's going to get Anthony Richardson, Tim Tebow 2.0, and just
Florida guy.
and completely do what he did in Denver. But
that actually makes sense. Yeah.
I think the best part of today was, our comp over there, Vic Taffer or Tafer. How do you say his last name?
Yeah, Big Tafer.
That was absolutely hilarious what he was putting out there. How he's like, timing is only interesting because Josh McDaniels accidentally leaked news of his wedding at the combine. Then it was the other one that was like, days ago or whatever. He says Darren Waller a big part of our plans.
He did say that.
Yes.
So that was hilarious to me.
Didn't he get mad at a review journal story? Was that another Adam Hill story?
I think
Dude, those two are wild.
that's our
absolutely
champion.
loved
Adam
knowing
Hill's our
that.
champion.
Yeah, we love those. We love those guys. But this is my thing, though, right? I think this is good for the Giants because they get Daniel Jones another weapon, which I think he needed from last year. I'm surprised, honestly, they haven't signed any offensive linemen. Like, I think they've had troubles for the past few years with that and everything else. But this is my thing, Vic, though, right?
Mhm.
Like, I understand now it makes more sense. There was trouble behind the scene, and yeah, it's not going to work or whatever. But it's like, if the whole idea is to win now, how are you supposed to win now only trotting Jimmy G out there with essentially Jacoby Myers and Devontae and maybe Josh Jacobs? Because now you don't even have a tight end because Monroe or the other guy's also gone, isn't he?
Monroe.
So it's like, I don't understand how they expect to put up points.
But no, well, I mean, but like the tight end draft class is deep. Then they could also go get Dalton. They could end up going and getting Dalton Schultz, and maybe I think he might fit Josh. What Josh McDaniels kind of doing better, I guess, than what Darren Waller does.
I guess it's. I understand it's only day 2, but I'm saying so far, like I don't understand how you see you're going to win any games at this point.
I know some Raider fans get frustrated with Waller. Sometimes they would say that he would take plays off. There was I remember Derwin James that Monday night game 2 years ago, Gilbert, when he had that pick when he stepped right in front of Darren. Raider fans were like, "Oh, well, Darren didn't even try. Like he was trotting out there."
Oh, that's my boy.
And Derwin went up and picked him off and ended that Monday night game.
Well, I think that game he had like 22 targets, so it's also easier when you're locking in on the guy.
That was the like 5 or 6 game stretch where Derek Carr was just looking his way the whole, like every game he had like 20 targets. So it was.
Dude, that's the one time I loved Darren Waller because he was on my fantasy team. Derek Carr would not look anywhere else.
but the guy is talented, so like
he is.
But I get he can't stay healthy and it just didn't work out. And we saw this one coming a mile away. And it is, Daniel Jones's game because you gotta, bring him weapons and maybe they throw Hunter Renfrow too. Why not? He needs more receivers over there for Daniel Jones.
Could you imagine?
I think my thing is like, obviously, we like to make fun of the Raiders. Raiders haven't figured it out in a minute. Yeah, they had the nice little playoff run there, and that surprised us. But like, even from last year, I feel like that team got lucky, and they're like the Vikings of last year, right? Where you win close games, you get in there, but you're not really a good team. You kind of like you pretend you are, and there's a lot of spots in the playoffs, and you get one. And when they got Devontae Adams, that's okay, cool. Like it's a new regime. I get people are excited, but I'm like, okay, hold up. And now I'm kind of going into this phase of like, okay, instead of like just judging them off their pass, I'm like in a wait and see mode. And I think that's where you are too, Victor. And I get it. You're like the guy who's trying to be the voice of reason. And also like you're trying to be a little too positive, I feel like at times. But the more I think about it and the more I do my research, okay, the least I could do is give this guy a chance to do it his way. The only downside, Vic, is like it's very similar. And Fernando pointed it out already to the Broncos way where he's maybe kind of a guy who likes to, control everything, my way or the highway. And he did great things with Tom Brady, but that is Tom Brady as well. But he did good things with Cam Newton. He didn't win. But also Mac Jones. He has a history of making it work with quarterbacks. But I think that's my thing. Like if you kind of have even if you win like 7 or 8 games or whatever, like Dan, this. You see good coaching. The guys who are good coaches. You see the scheme. You see the play. So. Yeah. I guess I'll wait, and if Jimmy G's your guy, Jacoby Myers is your guy, do it your way, and I would judge off of that.
The Chargers are doing it their way too.
Yeah, I'll say this. The only difference between what he did with the Broncos and now is that he has Ziegler. Back then, it was his show. He was running the show, and you can't do both things. The only guy that I known to be able to do it was Belichick, and even he had some issues here and there. But I mean, when you have the GOAT, it helps as well. But the only thing that keeps me in a positive light is the fact that you have someone like Ziegler, especially after what I saw him do last season, pulling off the Devontae Adams and doing some reading into how he went about it was also very impressive. And so now he's gonna as of right now he's got 12 draft picks. He's able to he's gonna be able to build this team the way he wants to. And so for me, that's why I stay a little bit positive. And also I have all these gray hairs now, so I don't have to worry as much as I used to. And I'm not I'm not as big of a fan as I was before, where I hung on to everything that was happening with my favorite teams. I don't do that anymore because as you get older, you start caring less and less. So that's part of it as well. I know nobody wants to hear that. Everybody just wants you to be rowdy and be able to say, have a hot take. But to me, I'm just like, I'm going to relax and let the process go where it goes.
The obviously, yeah, I honestly, if I was Raider fans, there's no way I would let David Carr step foot in my city next year for the Super Bowl. Like, you keep that loser over in the studio. Why? He hyped the crap out of the Raiders last year, and I think a lot of Raider fans bought it. They were like, he said Derek Carr MVP, Devontae Adams Offensive Player of the Year, and the Raiders are going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, if I was, and that's the thing, is that some people fall for that kind of stuff. So if I was Raider fans, I wouldn't even let him step foot in my town next year when it's a Super Bowl, because that dude was hyping it all up. And every single, I was waiting for him to pull a damn Mel Kiper. If my brother does not win the MVP, I'll quit this job. Your time is up. Like, you're
the leader of the C Nation, frown.
I get defending your brothers, but the thing that gets annoying is how defensive they get. Like, they start blocking people on Twitter, they start fighting people. I'm like, relax.
Been going on any podcast that's wanted him. He's been going on people's show and crapping all over the Raiders. Dude, your brother was there for 9 years. Like, I understand the instability. The coaches didn't like him, but dude, it's not just one coach that didn't like him. It was almost every single coach that was kind of like, And I think it's because they saw the person behind the guy in the helmet, and they're like, who really?
How dare you?
Who is he really?
Excellent preacher.
Is he the preacher that comes out here and cries and does all this, or is he the fiery guy that goes out there and leads this team? Like, really, the book is going to say who is there. And I already got our good boy Paul Gutierrez. There you go. Book title: Who is the real Derek Carr? Boom. Let's do it. You and I will write it together.
Are you saying he's like Russell Wilson?
I think Derek Carr.
Russell Wilson is in a level of his own, dude. He's elite.
By the way, well, we shouldn't get into Oscars and what people were wearing, but Jesus. Definitely, yeah, Russell. See, that's the thing. Some of these guys, I'm just like I mean, well, I'm not gonna get into him. I'm just saying, like, it's just.
How about some free agency news? How about
that?
Yeah. The strange cats. But Vic, if I was, you should get Raider Nation and not let David Carr into Las Vegas next year for the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, but. Free agency, obviously, a little bit. I mean, I don't think the madness was there today like it was yesterday, but definitely some good stuff. Gilbert, what jumped out at you today?
Yeah, I guess the big one, I'll go with, James Bradbury. And, maybe I kind of haven't given enough credit, but Howie Roseman, man, from being kind of told step aside with Chip Kelly and then just come back and just give a big F you to the NFL. Like, he's like the standard of how to run a team. Like, I feel like Ryan Poles is trying to like take the blueprint from the way Howie built it around Jalen Hurts to do with Justin Fields, because it's a good playbook. And I think, Howie Roseman, he did not franchise tag. He had like 20 guys who were really good players, and it said, F it, I'm not using the franchise tag. You want to stay here? Stay here. You stay here, and you come in a bargain deal, and you make it team friendly if you really want to stay here, because we know how to find talent, how to replace you. We know how to win. And what happened with James Bradbury? He signed the contract. It's a good contract, but I think it was a team friendly contract. Like, he with is it Jamal Dean from the Buccaneers got a bigger contract, and I think maybe James Bradbury is better, and he was an All-Pro last year. And to kind of get a team friendly deal, he set the tone with the, I'm not gonna even franchise tag you, buddy. You come here, you want to come, and then obviously you put a couple of incentives in the contract, and it's nice. So it's not like the worst contract for James Bradbury, but for him, for how to get him back, we'll see what happens with Charlie Gardner Johnson. He lost Javon Hargrave, but Victor, like you mentioned, he's like, you know what, you're too old, buddy. We'll find somebody else in the draft and replace you that way. So I like what Howie Roseman is doing, and I also like the re-sign of James Bradbury because he was pretty good last year. I know the whole little tug there with Juju was a problem, and AJ Brown so pissed off about it. But other than that, it was a good signing.
I think it was said today that CGJ. Yeah, he
it's not gonna
followed
work. It's not a thing.
Yeah, I know. He followed a lot of Broncos players on social media, so a lot of people were speculating on him. You know what signing I kind of liked that is kind of underrated if he can stay healthy. Rashad Penny to the Eagles. I actually really like that pick. He was really good down here when he was at San Diego State. With the Seahawks at oh my god. At some point, I didn't even go to San Diego State. At some point, and I saw somebody tweet this out. At one point or another, Rashad Penny has been one of the best backs in the NFL, like for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Like he has these stretches and then boom, he gets hurt. Sometimes you need a fresh start somewhere else to kind of get it going. The Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. They have a lot of weapons. So I think Rashad Penny, if he can stay healthy, I think that's going to be a very good move for him. I like him going to the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think it was a smart move, probably a cheap move too for Howie Roseman. So another home run by him. That obviously means Miles Sanders. He already tweeted out that he's not coming back. So it'll be interesting to see where he's headed. But Vic, what was your takeaway?
No, I was just gonna add to what Gilbert said, because I thought one of the things too that Howie Roseman does really well is that he identifies players who don't get picked up by their original team. So like after they're done with their rookie contract, he goes and he signs, kind of like what he did with Javon Hargrave. He identified him, he picked them up, and so he likes to get those players on their second contracts who didn't get the love from their original team, and that's how he's been able to do. So like, and that's the way to do it. You want to go and pick up dudes that are in their mid-20s who are about to hit their prime, who didn't get a big contract from their original team, and that's the way to do it right now. And I think some teams are starting to, like the guy I really like that Gilbert talked about was that signing with the Broncos with Zach Allen. Like he's that kind. He would have been a perfect Eagle, like a player that he goes after on, and I think teams are getting smarter about that now, and now they're going after those kind of players. So that's part of it, man. Like as soon as you start winning, teams are going to start taking away some of the things you like to do.
Yeah, we'll see what Jerry Tillery and Nazir Adderley end up. Dan, what do you take away from today?
I just want to, real quick, before I get to my takeaway, I want to jump on the Howie Roseman love train real quick. One thing I think that can't be overlooked is, coaches can motivate and build relationships with players to where they feel that love. I think it's a lot harder for front office people to do that, obviously, because they're not with them in those day-to-day meetings and all that stuff. Probably they're seen as more far away and removed. But it's like, in my mind, for a team captain like Jason Kelce to come back and take tequila shots, hug his GM and all that stuff, like, I don't think you see a lot of love like that with GMs around the league. So that, to me, kudos to this guy, because you could tell like they're trying to build a culture around, Philadelphia and everything else, which they're doing obviously an excellent job. So this is my takeaway real quick. Instead of ¿Dónde está Leo Messi? ¿Dónde está Orlando Brown Jr., dude? Like, how is this guy not been signed yet? Like, that's so interesting to me right now. Is like essentially Super Bowl winning left tackle. He was on a offensive line that gave up 0 sacks to the absolute number one undisputed heavyweight champion of sacks all season.
What?
Gave up 0 sacks.
70 sacks last season.
Oh yeah, they gave up. But I'm saying they gave up 0 sacks in the Super Bowl.
No,
Eagles got 70.
Eagles had 70 sacks last year. Yeah, it was I think they broke the record, or they were close, or whatever.
I hate.
And it's like he still hasn't been signed, and there's a reason why he hasn't been signed. They understand that like he has a lot of raw talent, a lot of raw attributes that can't be coached. But it's like something obviously there is missing. Whether it's a price tag, whether he's not trying to be flexible and play right tackle. That to me is like, obviously we talked about yesterday how much of a lineman, defender, and talker I love talking about linemen. And it's like that to me is going to be the fascinating story where I can't wait to see where he goes. You know, I joked yesterday, watch the Jaguars and the Chiefs just trade tackles. And I mean, you never know. The Jaguars are for sure going to have to replace Jawan Taylor and everything else to make sure Trevor Lawrence is upright all season. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. That's what I'm tracking right now.
I mean, his dad played left tackle, and he was like he's one of the an all pro, right? And he was really good. So
I guess, yeah.
He's probably trying to stay along with his dad, but
he made a promise. I think he passed away.
Yeah,
and he made a promise to him that he would play left tackle. And as if you remember, when he first started with the Ravens, he started out as a right tackle, and that was part of. And then the Ravens kind of helped him out and said, "Okay, we'll trade you." And they ended up trading him to the Chiefs because they were going to allow him to play left tackle. But as Dan has pointed out, like, he hasn't been that good of a left tackle since he got to the Chiefs. And a lot of people have pointed out, just like Dan has, like, hey man, you need to move to right tackle to be a better, but the money is at left tackle, and that's part of the plan.
Yeah.
And then there's also pride involved, right, Dan?
Yeah, but you're not gonna move Ronnie Staley either. Ronnie Staley's an all pro,
exactly.
Monster.
You know where he should go to make some money at right tackle? Go to Miami. The throwing Samoan can't see anything off his right side. Go to Miami.
Well, that's the thing, is like, if he doesn't want to play right tackle, like, he's already cutting out like a good amount of opportunities right there. And then he wants to play left tackle. It's probably maybe 10 to 12 really good left tackles. They're not gonna go after him. And then the other part is he wants a massive contract. Not everybody has cap space to bring him on. The team that we keep thinking about is the Bears, because they don't have a good line and they have money to pay Orlando Brown Jr. So maybe that could be the team there. But other than that, who else is really out there? If you're thinking about just left tackle, who has a cap space and who has an opening to get him? And it's just maybe 5 teams, and we'll see what happens. I don't think he's gonna get his money, but for him to go this long into day 2 of free agency, he's not gonna budge off as a number.
I wonder if he's gonna sign another 1-year deal. Because what if he's no, but sign a 1-year deal and then be okay, because literally, if you don't get paid within the first 3 days of free agent, how they say, when somebody goes missing, you have 48 hours. Here, in the first 3 days of free agency, if you don't get paid, that's it. You may sign an extension, but I'm talking about paid as a free agent after the new league year starts. If you haven't been paid, your chances go down of getting paid.
Well, that's why it's crazy to me. These players who are so stubborn to change positions. It's in my mind, you're chasing the bag the whole time. It doesn't matter what position you the opportunity to stay in the NFL number 1 doesn't grow on trees. So you have to take advantage of every single moment you're there. I mean, low key, we saw it with Terrell Pryor. Everybody remembers Terrell Pryor. Vic does. He was a quarterback there for a little bit. It's then what happened? He went to receiver, got a payday. Obviously, then he ended up not panning out or whatever for I forgot what team, but now he's gone. So it's but at least he cashed out and he did what he needed to do that. So it's in everything else, right? Even in business, you have to be the more versatile you are, the more attractive you are to people. If you speak other languages, what skills you have, it's all about that. It all translates. So that's why I don't understand so much hesitancy. I would switch positions. It is what it is.
And I'll finish with this. The other problem for him is it's a strong draft class too. The kid Skoronik, I think is his name, from
the Bears might get him.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're the Bears, you're picking 9th. You might as well just wait for your left tackle of the future. Yeah, exactly. You pick him at 9th. So that's the other problem.
Well, the other thing too, Victor, I was reading that he doesn't play in the Shanahan zone scheme, and that's what a lot of teams run nowadays. And he's too big to be in the Shanahan zone scheme. You need the smaller, athletic guys. So he doesn't even fit the scheme for a lot of these teams. So it's a kind of a whole pickle there.
Can you imagine if you had what's his name, Trent Williams at left tackle?
Yeah.
And you had Orlando Brown at right. If he could shed some weight, obviously. But I mean,
they're going to put him at deep tackle next year.
I agree. I think either Vic or Dan said. What do you say?
He could
put him at deep tackle. He'll eat up.
I don't remember which one said it. I don't remember who, but they said that they didn't like the Javon Hargrave signing because they thought they should have beefed up their offensive line. I agree with that, and I think Orlando Brown might have been a good. I mean, if you could convince him and you could have paid him enough money, I actually would have done that and then turned my attention to a certain Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. and been like, look
telling
at
you.
that offensive line. That offensive line's beefed up. We got you a
Follow
right
Miami.
tackle, left tackle. You got the offensive weapons. Let's go get it. And well, I mean, you could do that with any quarterback, I guess. But it's funny because Dan and I were talking about it the other day, and we're like, wow, like nobody is talking about Trey Lance being the starting. Like everybody's like Brock Purdy, Jimmy G, Tom Brady,
Didn't they
Sam
sign
Darnold.
everybody else.
Yeah,
Huh?
Sam Darnold now.
They
Yeah,
signed
Sam Darnold. Yeah, Sam Darnold. Like it's just it's crazy. But let me ask you guys before we head out of here. What's one thing from either one of the 2 days? What's the craziest thing that you guys, whether it's a trade, whether it's what's the one thing that you were like, oh crap, okay, like that really either jumped out at you, surprised you, or like you're like, oh god, like that's just terrible. Vic, well, I'll start off with you.
I'll make it quick, and mine is David Long, 2-year deal for $11 million going to the Miami Dolphins. Like that's a really good linebacker, and you got him for that. Like I couldn't believe that. Like especially someone like myself who's a Raider fan, like that would have been a great deal for someone like them. Even the Bears, like what are you doing signing? I mean, that was such a bargain for the Dolphins. Maybe he was going home or something. I don't know, but that one stood out for me.
The Bears, they're saying that that what's the name Everflus wants to start playing underneath, so like he wants to have those big linebackers kind of covering and being able to block down the field. But I mean, I just don't know how that's gonna work. But Dan, what's something that jumped out at you?
What jumped out to me is this. I guess we'll talk quarterbacks and all that stuff next time, so I can talk a little bit more about my friends in Miami. But this was crazy to me. You know, Aaron Rodgers saying
you're gonna be the David Carr of Miami. You're not gonna be able to step foot in Miami.
That's all right. I'm not going.
No, coño, no sabe lo que te pierde en Miami.
I need to go to Orlando anyway. That's where Disney World is and all that. I'm not worried about that. There's South Beach around.
Hay mucho fuego. Hay mucho fuego, coño. Hay mucho fuego, coño. Go ahead.
Anyway, but like the Aaron Rodgers thing, the only thing that's crazy to me is like I can't believe he's like, maybe I'll go Jets, but you got to go get my boys. That to me is crazy. The wish list and all that stuff, especially because like, hey, Aaron, I know you were in the dark for 4 days, but let me paint a picture for you. You had these guys already, guy, and it didn't work. Whether that's LaFleur's fault or not, I wish you would say that because you know me. I won't pass up an opportunity to talk about him or Miami, but it's like in my mind, it's already happened. We've already seen this. We've already seen you with Randall Cobb. We've already seen you with Alan Lazard. We already saw you with Mercedes Lewis, obviously. It didn't work. It didn't work. You couldn't beat the 49ers at home, and the way you lose is off a special teams error. What a joke. It's an absolute joke that he would want some of these guys over there. I understand protecting your boys and everything else, but at some point, you got to care about your legacy and go win another one, for God's sake. And the Odell one I like, though. That would be interesting. I can't wait to see that. That would be interesting.
Gilbert?
Yeah, no, I am annoyed with Aaron Rodgers, but hopefully there's ending to this inside. And I had a good point, and I totally forgot it.
Back if you should tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
to see if
ding,
it's over.
And I had a good point of what I wanted to make, and I forgot because I wanted to make a stupid joke. But I started thinking about what Victor was saying with the off-ball linebackers with the Bears. Like, imagine they also go and trade for Austin Ekeler again on a big contract. You pay a running back and you pay 2 linebackers. People are going to lose their crap about that. And I kind of want to see that in Chicago. But yeah, I think I feel like it's like, you know, a lot of teams, you know, like it's stuff like you don't want to win in March, and it doesn't feel like there's a one team that really won because it's kind of a down year for free agency. Like, you know, guys like, you know, even like Dalton Schultz, like where is he? Why I'm surprised he hasn't signed anywhere. Like guy like him.
No, but you know that's I wouldn't.
I guess it's tight ends. You don't invest too much on a tight end unless you have like a really good one, like a Kelsey.
And there's a lot of cheap tight ends coming in and through the draft.
In the draft, and you guys made a good point there. So I think, you know, people are trying to figure out different ways without having to pay on guys like Victor. A good point was like, yeah, like you try to find the guys who have talent who are not being, you know, overvalued. Like the Howie Roseman thing, like, okay, that guy didn't get a chance for some reason, whatever it is, maybe it was a cap thing or who knows, a system fit. I'm gonna jump on that. So you got to be kind of looking under every rock scenario. So it is kind of a whatever, you know, free agency. Yesterday was really busy. Today it's kind of okay, cool. Like, who really went. I'm trying to even remember who was a big one besides James Bradbury. I kind of like Dale Montgomery going to the Bears today, but then again, it's nothing really crazy.
No,
I
he
just
went
like
to the Lions.
Yeah,
the Lions, the Bears to the Lions.
Yeah,
Just
Jamal
wanna
Williams
see,
still out there. The
I
big
want to
dog.
see Dan Campbell run the rock with DeAndre
Yeah.
Swift and Montgomery. But yeah, you kind of lose that nice story with the Jamal Williams. He's the one that really put the life into the Lions. So
What
Yeah.
about those corners? I mean, I'm sure. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't take that away. I'm
Oh
sure.
well,
No.
yeah, I was.
Fernando can-
I was gonna mention one right now.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Your turn.
But what do you think? Do you think when David walks in, hey David, man, you gotta come in here with some passion, man. You gotta run that damn football down there.
This is why I got you here.
Exactly.
The big wadded dip. You gotta trust me, fellas. There's a plan.
The Stephon Gilmore trade, I don't know what to make of it.
Oh yeah, that
And I
was
mean,
random.
I still like Stephon still has it, but I don't know if he still has a whole lot of it. Like I did see some glimpses last year, but then when I saw the Chargers game against them, I thought Keenan Allen kind of had his way with them a little bit. Mike kind of had his way a little bit. So I mean, and that's just an outlier. Those guys were kind of done by that point. So I'm sure they had mailed it in, but I'm interested to see what it's going to be like, because we all know Trevon Diggs gives up some big plays. So I wonder if Stefano will he be frustrated? What kind of way? And by the way, Howie Roseman almost committed madness. I heard that. Well, I saw in a tweet, I can't remember who tweeted out, that supposedly they were about to trade. They were talking about Darius Slay maybe going to the Cowboys. I'm like, why would the Eagles make a trade? Like, why in God's green earth would they make a trade like that? Like, that would be madness.
You know the problem there though, right? With Darius Slay is they're thinking about signing or bringing on Patricia, and Slay has a problem with
he hates him.
Yeah.
So that'd be there you go. JC Jackson for Darius Slay. The Chargers should execute that trade.
That sounds like a fair deal to me.
And he's like, no. I'd love to cover Darius Slay just because I've heard like Keenan, I remember a couple of years ago told me how cool like Darius Slay is. He's like, man, him and I during practice, like, you think me and Derwin is fire? Like, imagine me and him. I'm like, oh, that would be fun to watch. But definitely that's I thought that was a little strange, but I wonder, because I'm telling you, I don't think Stephon's gonna like Trevon Diggs though. What he does, that whole jump in routes and stuff. There's a lot more teams this year that pump faked against him, and he bit. So I'm just interested to see how that whole trade dynamic's going to work. And by the way, the Cowboys woke up today because yesterday Cowboy fans were pissed. They weren't making any moves, and today they kind of made some moves here and there.
Well, you know why they made a move, right? Did you hear about that?
Why?
God. Jerry Jones took a long, hot shower, and he was thinking about what the hell we need to do.
I wonder
when they brought back when they brought back Van Der Esch, I kept thinking about the guy from Blue Mountain State. Like, he just reminds me of
that guy.
He does look like him. Well, we appreciate you guys again for checking out another episode of Free Agency Frenzy with the Compas. Definitely a lot of exciting stuff happening. We will be back tomorrow night to break down some news, whatever's out there. Definitely tomorrow. New league year starts. I think tomorrow is going to be just the craziest day yet, just because of all the outliers and factors out there. Don't forget to go check out the Compas on the Beat merchandise. The website is below in the
Compas on the Beat merch. Sorry, not okay. I messed it up. Compas on the Beat merch.com.
Merch.com. Don't forget to go check that out. It is great.
This is why Dan is the promo guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's better at that than I am.
He's so annoyed.
Yeah, don't forget to check out What's Up Bulls, Dan and Dago and I break down. Trey Pipkin signing. Hey, that actually, I mean, I know obviously he's worked his way up, but it's a pretty good signing and he's deserved it. So definitely a good one there. And then obviously on Monday, Dan and Dago and I broke down the Austin Ekeler trade and what that's going to look like. House of Horns, obviously. The Rams have been a little bit quiet, but I'm sure they're going to start stepping stuff up and making some moves. You have to
they're going to sign some McDonald's employees for now. They're excited.
So,
they're ready to fist pump to 5 and 11. Let's go.
Obviously, on Combat Compas, Gilbert and I still have something to share with you guys. I'm pretty sure we're going to do it pretty soon, as free agency dies down a little bit. but we're definitely excited to share that with you guys. And then Compas FC on Thursday morning. Don't forget to go check it out. We will have all the stop laughing. We'll have all the breakdown of all the Champions League games. Manchester City advanced, and obviously Inter Milan advanced. So we're gonna have all that. Thank you guys again so much for checking us out. Don't forget, be a compa, tell a compa, comment, like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much.
Subscribe. Don't forget it. Smash the like button. Be a compa, tell a compa.
Exactly. There you go. Dan and Diego. I think he's getting mad at, and I think he thinks I'm butchering this, but I hope I'm doing a fair enough job. But Gilbert, it's time to go. Sabes que vámonos.
You know what? Just have Dan and Diego do it. He wants to do everything. Go ahead, Dan.
I do it all. The jack of all trades. You know what? Stooge, scumbag, let's get the hell out of here. Vámonos.